In this video, I'm going to show you how to run the MicroProfile OpenAPI source code from the MicroProfile OpenAPI chapter of MicroProfile tutorial. So the chapter, as we all know, this is the MicroProfile API tutorial, and there are various chapters available. So I am looking into this chapter, which is about OpenAPI. Here you will find the entire content about an overview of OpenAPI specification along with how MicroProfile OpenAPI standard is based and what's new feature and various other technical information is provided here for the benefit of developers. So now let's run the source code which is associated with this chapter, which will help you to understand this chapter better. So I'm inside the repo. I have already cloned the MicroProfile tutorial repo from GitHub. And in this, there is a code folder. And within this, we will be looking into chapter 4 folder. And within chapter 4 folder, we have a project which is called catalog folder. This corresponds to product catalog microservice. So to run this source code, the source code is available within this in a very structured multi-layer directory, which is as per the best practices, segregating various classes as per entity, repository, resources, and service classes. And we have a pom.xml as well as the README file. So if you go through the README file, you will see comprehensive description about the project as well as some of the details about how OpenAPI syntax is used to document this service. And you will also find instructions to run the service. So what are the commands which you need to execute to run this server in addition to details about this project? So let me show you in a preview mode so that you see it in a better formatted document. So here what we are interested is about running this particular source code. So here, as mentioned, this is the command which we have to run to execute the source code. So I am giving the same command by copy pasting it from the README file. So this is mvn clean. This will clean the project. It will compile the project and it will run this particular source code in Liberty server. And this will be run in development mode. You can also run it in normal mode by giving liberty:run. But for now, let me run in dev mode so that I can even debug for any issues if I encounter. So now the server is getting started. So it has various features. As you can see, it is resolving features, which is for JSON processing, and there is OpenAPI. MP OpenAPI stands for MicroProfile OpenAPI. So this project is based on Jakarta EE10 and MicroProfile 7.1. So now you see here the OpenAPI endpoints are also getting initialized and they are available. So now here we see the application catalog is updated, and in few seconds you would see message regarding this particular server is also running. So here the default server is ready to run a smarter planet. This is a standard message which shows our application is running, and this is running in the port 5050. So let's open this port in the browser. So I'm opening this port in the browser. So this is my default page for Open Liberty, but for running the Swagger UI to see the Open API documentation, I will visit this entire URL. So let me go back here. So you see here, I have to append Open API and UI. So for some reasons, this is getting redirected. Let me show you from a so I have opened this page already. So this is running well. So yeah, you see here, this is loaded. The OpenAPI documentation has been loaded. So you see here the API documentation. This is the entire application documentation. It's all coming from OpenAPI. So we see the description like secured product API. And then this is based on the version of the microservice is 1.0.0 and OAS 3.1 stands for this document is as per OpenAPI 3.1. So these are the small badges which denotes the version. Then we have the description. So product API with multiple security schemes. So here we have also demonstrated how we can document an API which requires authorizations. So here you can see that there is an API key. So this is a place where if you want to test your API, you can enter various authorizations mechanism, which include API key, which includes username, password verification for basic authentication, or bearer token for JWT authentication. So all these options are available. Even if your API is supporting multiple authorization mechanism, you can show all these options. So this is how in a standard way we document authorization related to an API, and various options are available for different protocols, which is for bearer authentication or OAuth 2 based authentication. We can provide client ID, client secret. So these are the options which are available. So in case there is a secure API, user can click on this authorize button, which is at the top level. It could also be made available at the API level as well. Now, if we go to various APIs, I see there is get API for getting the list of products. You see the description of the API. You also see the description of parameters in case there is. You also see responses and various responses which are possible as a result of API execution. So here, for example, 200 is for successful list of products, and there is 400 for unsuccessful or no products found. And similarly, we have 503 service is under maintenance. So a developer can also see this API in working. So by clicking on try it out button, and then he sees the option to execute. Since this is a get API without any parameters, I don't see any option to enter parameters. I can simply click on the execute button and this will make a call to the server. So you see here the different servers are also documented. So in case you have multiple environments, one for development, staging, production, all these environments could be listed here. That's why we see here a drop down option. Now, next is we see here the response which is coming from the server. So you see here, this is the data which is getting retrieved from the server, and you have all the response coming here, which is from the live server. Similarly, you can also do this particular API, test this for post. So here, this is very convenient because get APIs you can try with your browser, but for post or put APIs, you would need a REST client like Postman, or you have to give curl commands, which is not very convenient. So here you see that there are documentation about the API, as well as we have here a payload. So this is the request body which we can send, and then we can kind of execute this particular command. So once we have this request body, we will execute this, and here this is the response 201 which has come from the server is also shown. So this is how you test the post method, which is also very straightforward. Here you can put a JSON object as well if there is a request body required for the API. So this is various options. So here you see there is callback also possible. If there is a webhook style API, then there is an option to document this using this tabs here. So this particular OpenAPI documentation or Swagger documentation will demonstrate you all the options which are available, and then I will show you some options where we have the parameter passing possible. So here when I say try it out, I have an option to add the parameters. I put 0 as an ID, and when I execute, so this is giving you the response. So product not found, or no, when I give different inputs, it will show you the response. So in this case of ID equal to 1, I see that there is a product which is available. So you will be able to play around with the API. You can see what are the output in success scenarios as well as in failure scenarios. So this is very helpful for looking into the APIs and communicating about the APIs to even non-technical users. This is also beneficial to developers as well, because they can also look into the API details and can do integration very effectively and test their APIs as well. So here you have also various schemas which are used in these APIs documented. So there are different kinds of details. This is as per the JSON schema, latest JSON schema version. So you see mandatory fields are documented with red star, and there is a data type which is also provided, and this is very detailed data type. For example, in case of name, I see that this could be between 1 and 100 characters, and there is a pattern as well, that this pattern is for validation of the data field. So here for description, it is a string, and this is less than 500 characters. So you see the documentation also specify various validations, and it gives you the exact schema which is required. So this is very useful for any developer who wants to know the contract in detail, what are the options available. You can also put some examples for the data types. So here, for example, for price, there is an example 999.99. So this is another useful options that for APIs you can give examples as well. So this was all about OpenAPI documentation, various possibilities, and this is as per the latest standards, because we see a very detailed JSON schema of all the objects which are involved in the APIs, as well as we see the option to run different kinds of APIs, whether it is put API, post API, or delete API. We have various APIs with parameters, with the request body, and then we see the response body, and we also see the curl command in case you want to try it out in your terminal. That is also shared, as well as the authentication option. So this is all about OpenAPI and how to execute the uh, code, and you can use any development ID. In this case, I used Visual Studio Code, and with one single command, I will be able to run this project and see OpenAPI in action. So thank you. That is all was there in this video. See you in the next video.